Over to you, Prachi.
Okay, thank you. Very good morning to all of you. A very, very good morning to all of you. I'm so happy to take this topic over here. This topic is a bit different. Like, this topic shows us why our child shies away from us, or why children cannot connect to us actually. In this topic, I'm covering various points. Some might be relatable to us, and some might not at all relate, because every parent and every child has a different combination. So it is to understand where unconsciously or unknowingly we do things and we don't understand what we are doing. And the same is happening with me also, and I'm realizing so many things I'm doing which I don't even understand why I'm doing, but I'm still doing it. So let me share my screen. Okay. So I think my screen is visible now.
Yes, Prachi.
Okay. So again, a warm welcome. So the first thing why our children cannot relate to us is that we expect a lot of obedience from them. We think they should be utterly obedient, and the child tends to obey us in three possibilities. When the child actually doesn't understand what to do and can blindly obey us so that the child can blame us later on if things don't go right. Secondly, the child obeys us if they feel confidence in us. First thing, they don't know what to do. Second thing, they actually feel confidence in us. And third thing, to avoid any conflict, they feel if they do not obey us, we are going to create conflicts, or we are going to be pushy and pressy on them. So then in that case also, they just listen to us for the sake of listening, so that they are in our good books. The way when we drive a car, we feel more safe because the steering wheel is in under our control. And when we take a flight, we fear a lot, even though the road accidents are more dangerous than the flight ones. But we fear because we do not have the control. So in the same way, we try to exercise our control on our kids, and we feel safe when we can successfully exercise the control on our kids. But when they don't agree, when there is a disagreement, we think they are not respecting us. There is a disrespect. Actually, it is not a disrespect. They are also developing their individuality. So when we try to make obedience only as the key point, we destroy the individuality. Otherwise, they are wanting to actually just develop the individuality, nothing else. So we need to respect their individuality, which we unknowingly forbid. And the second point I would like to go over here is, we think your child is good, amazing, but our child is the best. As for example, if I am selling some bread or something, what I feel, I have got the best bread and I charge it a little more than what I would pay to others, because just I have baked it and there is emotions attached to me. So we feel our child is more better than any other child just because it's our child, and those are the attachment and emotional involvement with our child. So we always are in the constant comparison zone. So what happens if your child is competing for something? We do everything, each and every possible support to make the child win, and we feel bad when our child doesn't win. We feel bad for the other child who wins, and we do not feel bad for our child. The feeling of other child winning is so conquering that we actually start feeling for the other child and not our child. And whatever our child is doing, we feel it's the best. If the child is playing chess, we say, oh wow, brain power is very important. On the other hand, if the child goes into wrestling, we talk about physical strength, the importance of physical strength. So we only relate importance to whatever our child is doing. And like in Snapchat, we glorify the picture the way we want. We do it with our children as well. And we when but at the same time, when the child is alone, we judge the child objectively. We start rating the child objectively, but when the child is in public, we just upheld the child extra, which is also not. We amplify the child's grace when we are in public about talking about our children. So, what we miss is we do not think of the uncertainties. We do not think of the failures. When failure is a part of growing, we just think of what is good, how things are going to be best for your child. So we generate false hope and unrealistic self. Like we think that he should be a Virat Kohli in a day. But why we do not show the failures that Virat Kohli has faced or any other professional has faced? Why, if the child wants to be a painter, why don't we also show the real stories of what the painter had been through to reach there instead of just glorifying the end result? So if we do not do this, the child will learn survival tools, how to survive a situation instead of winning, how to survive a situation with having a real picture and not photoshopping of what success seems. So your child is amazing and we think our child is the best. And the next point would be P word. Oh, am I clear? Any doubts still here? Is it making sense?
Yes, Prachi, and I would request everybody to go on mute, please.
Yes. Thank you. So the next would be the P word. P means parenting word. Whenever it comes to parenting, a mother keeps on pushing herself to be perfect, to be whole, to be complete. She will set a new limit, new target every time to get her into that perfect motherly stereotype frame. And whenever a father is new to a child or a newly said father, he will relate everything in his life around to the child. If his co-worker is not working properly or is not finishing the work, he will relate. He's like my child who needs to be cleaned up, who needs to be cleaned regularly. Or if there is a doorbell ringing when you are sleeping, you will again relate it to a child. Like my child also disturbs me when I am in deep sleep. So this P word, the parenting word, gets so much into us that it becomes our world. It becomes as if we are just doing parenting, parenting, and parenting. We create that identity for ourselves. Like we have some identity associated with, suppose, a hostel warden. We think he or she is very strict, disciplined, and suppose a team player. Then he sacrifices, takes leads. So in the same way, we also assign some things to our parents, like parental word, like being authoritative, being controlling, and involved in everything. That is what we feel when when we are playing a parent's role. We feel we need to do all these things. So we are so much tough on ourselves, and our children also see us being tough on ourselves. They learn that being tough on your own self is the right thing, which is not actually. So when a child doesn't understand anything, we take it to ourselves. We take it so much personally that my upbringing go wrong somewhere, so that the child is behaving in a particular way or not able to understand. We blame ourselves for everything that is happening in their life, as if their life is also governed by us. So when we go get into the parental frame, we make it our world, not a part of our living, but we make parenthood our world. The next point I would like to take it over here is memory is a rumor. So what do I mean by memory is a rumor? I met my uncle and we were sitting over a long tea chat, and then he was talking about his own memories. And then he said, while I was a child, I put mud on my father's car, and then I also broke a TV one day accidentally, and I was very notorious. I used to steal fruits and flowers from my neighbor's garden. And then I asked, how are your kids? Do they do all these things? Then he's plainly admitted, no, 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 I have not shared this with my kids. Otherwise, they would definitely follow my footsteps, and I don't want them to do this. So what we do is we tweak the situations as per our choices. We tell them the things which we feel will make them feel that we were ideal as parents and we were too much disciplined to listen to our parents every time. So we create that story which matches our image and we want them to be like us. So we create that story instead of telling whatever the truth is. So we do not let them learn from their own experiences and we portray that how ideal we were. We remember our past and according to our present feelings and opinions, which were actually different than we were young. When we were young, we had different opinions about our life, but we portray as if the opinions which we carried were correct. So we show portray our memory as in how we want the child to have a image of us and not what the actual memory is. We do it unknowingly, and we blame it on our parents also, that our parents were strict, nobody was there to correct me, so I was like that, so things happened to me in this way. Again, we want to show that we are better in correcting them, as if they are some question papers and we need to correct them. The next point I would like to iterate is quirks unlimited. Behave unknowingly, we behave in a way which is not very logical, which is sometimes a little weird. Like we would uh, Mm, we would keep on saying that you this trait is like your mother, this trait is like your father does work in the same way. You do not do this, you do not do that, and then we also trying to behavior becomes so weird at times that we change the birth date of a child when we want the child to be promoted in school. The year is going, an extra year is being used, we change the birth date of the child. And according to, can we go on mute, please? And according to a survey in US, 75 to 80% of people are a little superstitious. And if we take in India, it is more than 90% of parents where we are superstitious. We perform some rituals, we offer some things to God, and then in the same way our kids do. They want gifts or they want perks when they perform something and they ask us, I have done this, what will you give me? Because we have set that example to them that whenever God gives us something, we give God something in return. So the kids follow our behavior in the same way. And we sometimes behave so weird. I had a friend in college who was very well to do, but just could not get a bike because he wanted a Yamaha. And in the name Yamaha, it is Yama, which the mother never agreed to buy a bike because it was Yama, which she felt is not a holy name or a holy thing. So she was very reluctant and adamant to buy that bike just because it had the word Yama. So our behavior is so weird at times that children get confused. What is to be done if they imitate us, if they don't imitate us? So if we are without any fear, we are a awesome gift to them. If we operate without any fear. So what if we embrace whatever the reality is and go through and let them also go through the trials and explore their own path instead of setting some whims and fancies around it. So let us analyze where we are getting a little weird with our kids. The next point where I would like to come is, where is the performance appraisal? So, as a child, the child is always judged, whether it be in school or some in activities or for sports, or it goes for any dance classes. Everywhere there is a judgmental hat which everyone carries, and is the child is continuously under that without knowing also. We judge them by the scores, by the job they get, or the cars they own. So always the kids are under continuous performance pressure. So in daily conversations also we talk about where they are standing, what is the status of their studies. Our our talks are mostly questions, rating them every now and then, how they are doing, where they are standing, what they are missing. So it's always a feedback mechanism to them. So we should have daily conversations with them which are healthy and they are focused, where we are not engaged with our mobile phones and just listening without paying any real attention. So we should have fruitful daily conversation without judging them, without rating them, to understand what that expectations are. They do not expect us to be a yes parents and agreeing to everyone, everything, but they want us where they can debate, they can discuss, and disagreement is also welcome. They are not expecting that we always agree to everything, but there should be a healthy discussion to it. A environment should be set where the child feels free to talk and where we are open and receptive and completely focused on what the child is wanting to say. We always, a comedian is judged in 15 seconds, a child is judged in 5 seconds, and we as parents should also understand sometimes that this is not right thing to judge every now and then, and there is nothing such as picture perfect. So we should have a two-way conversation where the child feels free, where you are receptive, where there is a healthy discussion and a healthy debate as well. The next point would be
Parvati, can you go on mute, please? Maybe you can mute all once, Prachi. You can mute all and then unmute yourself.
so thank you. So where is then sorry I missed it. The next point would be we are awesome wordsmiths and awful actionsmiths. So we are too good when it comes to using words, and when it comes to taking action, we lack our own actions. So I had been to my lift lobby, society lobby, where we had to donate some plants. So a lady comes with two, three plants in her hands and two kids carrying those. So she was boasting about she telling them stories every night, and then she was talking so much about the story that I had no option than asking the kids, did you listen to some stories recently? What was the recent one which you listened to last night? Out of which the elder one said, we listened about the lazy lad. And the younger one immediately replied, lazy lad like our mother. The lazy lad like our mother who gets up, who wakes up late every morning and cooks stories for being late. So this is what comes out of the children unintentionally. We think our kids don't understand what we do, but they are so close to us. We we keep them so much in our vision that they understand what we are actually doing and what we are actually saying. So we should pause and think, are we actually doing the things which we are expecting them to do? Like we tell them stay off the mobile, but we are the ones who are always glued to the mobile, or we seem to be quite online to them. And we also tell them that you should share your toffees, you should share your books, you should share your toys. But when it comes to us sharing a contact number of our maid with our friend, how do we do that? Are we really open and receptive to sharing the contact number of our maid with some of our friend? But we expect the same thing out of our kids. They should be sharing, they should be receptive. We have cold wars with our friends or siblings or some relatives, but then we expect our kids to be good with everyone, to forgive everyone, to be involved with, to be receptive to whosoever they meet. So we are just wordsmiths, but when it comes to action, it is something different than what we are actually behaving. We are word models. We are not role models to them, and they do understand, and it confuses them. whether you should behave in accordance to what you have said or you should behave whatever you feel right. So it gives them a feeling of confusion. We show them we are saints, but we are actually sinners in actions at times. Okay. So next would be we attract conflict and you shun conflict. Like, this is a very beautiful point that we feel that kids attract conflict, and what we do is we nicely want to avoid conflict. For example, if your child says, "I want to do," your teenager says, "I want to do a hair color," or "I want to get a tattoo done," immediate response is no, you're not going to play with your body, you're not going to play with my money, and it's not a good thing. And look at your age, what are you doing? It is all cheap, and why are you going for this? It is an immediate no. Instead, have we sat down and discussed at any point of time why you want to do it? Can we do it later, or where you want to do it? What is it? What you're going for? And having a discussion around it without a straight no. Can we have a healthy discussion without a conflict? So we behave as per our moods. So suppose I want to party today, I would give the permission to my kids to watch mobile because I am in a party, I am talking to people, I am enjoying myself. So at that point only I feel my kids should enjoy. And that point I give soda also to my kids. Otherwise, if my kids ask for mobile, I am like they are asking for my kidney, or they want soda, then it would be a strict no. So it confuses the child that why I have to behave as per my mood, as per my mother's mood or my father's mood. The child swings as our mood swings. Whether why at certain point they get permission and at certain point they don't get permission. So they learn to manipulate in this case. They know that when my mother is busy, she's going to give me phone. When I am uh, when she is enjoying, she's going to give me some permissions. So the child starts taking benefit of the situation, and it will ask us for the permissions when we are not in a position to say no. So the child is again confused that I have to swing according to the mood swings of my parents. And when the child seriously comes to you, this is a very important point, and tells you that I'm not feeling really well at school. I really don't understand what to do in this situation, or I can't handle it alone. At that point, we show a big, we close our eyes and we do not pay actual attention to them. We ignore whatever they are saying, where it actually needs our attention. The child gives us warning signals that he is not keeping well in the school, or he is not liking particular situation, or he is finding very difficult to cope it, but then we ignore it, thinking these are small things. It happens with every child has to face this, and then the consequences might really not be good. But if a teacher just snaps in the class, then there is a wave of WhatsApp messages going on in the parents group. Then the same thing would be addressed to the principal. But when your own child is saying he or she needs attention, we do not give that, and then we face consequences. So we try to avoid conflicts, we try to shun them where it is not actually required, and there is a need to pay attention. There is a need to get close to your child because there is more distance between you and your child in two rooms of the same house. So get close to your child, understand the child's situation, observe the child silently. Is the behavior normal? Is the child happy? Is the child disturbed? What is happening with the child? Be passionate about what a child is saying. Don't ignore it. Be regular in talks with the child because a child's mood and mind changes more frequently than a software upgrade of your phone. So we need to Pay attention where it is actually needed. The next point would be
Just a time check. 10 minutes more,
yes,
Prachi.
sure. Thank you. My children are mine only. So when someone criticizes our children, we take it so much personally that as if they are not criticizing our children, but they are keeping a finger on our parenthood. We take it to our heart. So we shield our kids from criticism so much that they don't even understand their mistakes. We don't let them face the world as it is. We don't let them face the valid criticism. If they don't face it, how they are going to face the situation and grow out of that criticism positively. But just want to keep them away because we feel the criticism is to us and not to the child. So taking it so personally hampers the resilience that a child will develop when the child will face the criticism and work on himself. So we take away the resilience, we take away child's power to fight for himself, and claimers and blamers. So whenever a child performs really good, we congratulate the child, we hug the child, and we take the extra claim of teaching the child or putting the child for coaching. And when the child doesn't perform good, we hug the child and we also say some positive words. But then we also throw a bomb on the child that if you would have been more disciplined, if you would have listened to me, if you would have studied regularly, if you had been to classes, then we give over blame also to the child. The way we claim our credits uh, the hyped way, in the same way we blame our children also in a hyper way. So uh, so we cannot uh, ask, like, we cannot blame our kids like it is some freebie which is to be distributed openly. Let us be a little rational in understanding what might be the situation of our child. We should not be extreme in claiming also and blaming also. So whenever a child doesn't do any assignment, we would be like behind a child's life and making the child do the assignment. But when we do this, we do not let the child suffer the consequences of not doing. We do not let the child learn his own lessons. If we do not if we do not tell the child will become responsible on its own the very next time, learn its own lessons, and will be strong enough to face the consequences also. But we try to shield it in a wrong way and we take the claim of helping them out. Next would be intention go away. Your intention go away, outcome yours to stay. It means that we always think of the outcome. If I want to reach a particular destination, I would not let the child enjoy the journey, but I just want the child to think about what the ultimate destination is, how rewarding the destination is. And if the child wants to perform well in exams, irrespective of the child is understanding or not understanding, the child just tries to mug up because it wants to attend some destination of certain percentage. So it kills the learning journey, it kills the experience graph of the child, just because we want to see the outcome which is a reward, or which is something where you reach. So what we do is we are giving them whatever it takes attitude. We are making them go like the right way of life is do whatever it takes to reach there. But whenever you tell them do whatever it takes to reach there, we fail to tell them enjoy the journey, understand the process. So they miss on enjoying and understanding, and there is no sense of achievement when they do that, because it's just they work towards the goal and not in the journey of attending that goal. So despite of hero outcome, if talk about the unsung efforts also of the child, let the outcome be anything, but we acknowledge the efforts taken, the path taken, the right things which were done. It will help the child to become better and better. We let us enjoy the journey without being judgmental to the child. The next would be halo effect. Halo effect. Halo means if you see a saint or some moon, a bright light around the moon, that is called halo effect. So if we see some family performing certain rituals, going for walks and eating a lot of fruits, we want our kids also to do that. We also want our kids to be under that umbrella. We feel great about children who perform well in class, top achievers, and we talk about Sania Mirza. But her father was really passionate about the game, and he took her to every tournament. So what we do is, our children are seeing us watching mobile, WhatsApp, Candy Crush, and we want them to be something extraordinary. But we ourselves, and we want them to be a powerhouse of talent, but we ourselves are totally different, and we are showing a different picture to them. So it confuses the child of your true opinion about them. So the halo effect puts the child in unnecessary competition where every child is different and you cannot relate someone's performance or appraisal to your child. And the last point is paper or plastic. We give so many options to children. If a child wants to buy a water bottle, we would be like Googling, find out three best water bottles, five best water bottles, showing to the child, asking the child to select, and creating a lot of confusion and dissatisfaction. Though we give one good water bottle, the child is still dissatisfied. How does it matter? Why can't we reduce unnecessary choices? Water bottle is just meant to hold water, and any color and any material we do, but we give unnecessary choices, putting them into habit of getting choices, and then when we withdraw them of choices, they feel something of big injustice is done to them. So avoid giving unnecessary choices. Let them also boil down to closed doors. If it comes to career, let them understand which door they want to keep it open, how to explore options, and which doors they would like to close. If I want to opt for commerce, let the child close arts and science. Don't keep all the choices saying that in arts these fields are there, in science these fields are there, in commerce. When the child has decided commerce, then help the child to understand what all is exactly there if the child wants to go with a commerce stream, and not force the child with lot of options, waste your time and money, and confuse the child a little more. Make the life of the child simple and see if it serves the purpose actually. So, sticking to minimum facts and taking apt decisions before drowning ourselves to sea of information can help the child to actually come to some positive conclusion without having any confusion. So, this was all about today. It was some facts which we don't understand while we behave, and ultimately we decrease the resilience in our kids, and we put more pressure on ourselves. Any questions, or anybody wants to say anything?
I think it would be a few seconds only left. But thank you for showing us the mirror, Prachi.
Thank you so much, Rishi. Thank you all for joining and supporting. Anybody who would like to say something?
Hi Prachi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. It was a wonderful session. I mean, though I'm not a parent, but still got lots of information that how to treat a child, even if that child is not yours, but you can treat any child because every child deserves sympathy, empathy, and a sense of non-judgment. Because this is what we have been observing everywhere, inside and outside house. So treat children the way they are, and try to appreciate every single time, not negatively but positively, by asking questions and by dealing that whether we are encouraging them or discouraging them. So if we are consciously aware, then we can make any child feel better. And we all are parent in one or the other way. It doesn't matter whether you have a